Good day, this is Mackenzie Empire. Thank you, returning subscribers. Those of you that have not subscribed, please subscribe, click the notification bell, and also like and share my channel. So whenever I upload new video, you can be notified. Thank you. Today, we'll be drafting a skirt. Drafting a skirt, I love pattern drafting. Pattern drafting has made fashion very, very easy because you can adjust, you can amend whatever you want on your paper before transferring them to your fabric. Some people will say, this pattern is a waste of time. No, it is not a waste of time because it allows you to bring a lot of adjustment, a lot of creativity into your fabric or your outfit. Now, for us to draft a skirt, although I can pick a skirt and draft on my fabric, but I like pattern drafting because it makes it easy. Even I'll be making a mistake, that will be on my paper, not on my fabric. And after drafting on your paper, you can easily transfer to a calico. So some pattern drafters, what they do is to they will tell their students to draft on paper, and then they will ask them to transfer to calico, so that if that fits you, you can then transfer to your fabric. Now let's draft our skirt. The measurements I'll be needing for this skirt is waist 38. I'll be needing length 26 and also hip 43. Now, for us to draft our skirt, we will normally do our fabric folded into 4. That means, for example, if your hip is 36, you have to fold into 4. That means you divide into 4 to give you 9. And that 9 means you have folded your fabric into 4. Now, on this pattern paper, what I'll be doing now is to assume this is your fabric. And instead of you folding the front into 2 places and the back in 2 places, I am going to create a box. A box whereby it will serve as the measurement of my hip. And I'll be using the hip as the measurement of this pattern because the hip is the largest part of my skirt. So now my hip, the hip I'm working with is hip 43. So that means I'll be dividing this pattern. I'll be creating a box of 43 divided by 2. And 43 divided by 2 will give me 21.5. So from here now, I have my 21.5. Yeah, I'll draw it up and I'll draw it down. 21.5. Here, 21.5. And likewise the down part 21.5. I'm doing this so that I can have a straight line. So then I'll connect with my ruler. So I haven't done that. The next thing for me now is also divide this box into 2, where one will be serving as the front and the other will be serving as the back pattern. Now from this 21.5, if I divide by 2, I'll have now from here, next thing is to draw our waist. Next one now is to input our measurement for the waist, for the hip. Now, the hip measurement is 9. From the waist to the hip is 9 or 8. 8, between 8 and 9. But mine, I use 9. Or if you are not sure of this measurement, and you measure the hip measurement from your client, that means from the waist to the hip. That means the place where you have this curve, that's where your hip, where you have this curve. So this is the waist to the hip. So mine is 9. I'll be working with 9. So this 9, I'll also be marking it here. 9. So that means I'll be marking this across. Don't forget this measurement, you can measure it on your client. So that is the hip line. The hip line. Now, this will serve as my center front, and this will serve as my center back. Now, from this measurement now, we'll now start to impute the measurement of the hip, and also you also need a measurement of your above knee. Now, this measurement of above knee will give you the insight to how curvy your skirt will look. But because I'm working with a short skirt length here, I'll be utilizing the length. Now, the length of 26 falls, let's see, because I said I'll be working with length of 26, and these I have 27 years. So let's take 26 out there. This is the length of 26. And I was saying something about the hip. Now, we normally have a curvy part at the bottom of the back. And likewise, how curvy you want your skirt to look determine the above knee determines how curvy you look. You know, all this shape you see now, it will just curve. The curve will go from up, it will be rounded, very perfect curve. Now, for this above skirt now, I'll be working, the measurement of that is 20, length 20 from your waist. Length 20 from your waist will serve as your above knee. Length 20. Some use 19, but if you want to do this measurement on your client, you can easily tell your client to stand up and look at the shape of your client's bum and see where it is landing. It is preferably the higher this above knee, the beautiful the skirt looks. So now I'll be using this above 20 inches as my above length. Now, from this pattern, I have a waist of 38. That means I'll be dividing my 38 into 4. Then I'll be having 9.5. And this is my 9.5 here. Don't forget, this skirt, I will not be adding any allowances to it, because all the allowance will be done on the fabric when transferring the pattern to the fabric. So now, from this one now, I will measure my 9.5. That is 38 waist 38 divided by 9.5. Then my hip, don't forget, this is the total length of my hip, so I'll be exhausting all the hip measurements. So from the waist down to the hip. Then the hip, this is the above knee. The essence of this above knee is to make your hip curvy. You know, when you are coming down like this now, if you have this measurement, and this is normally good for all these bodycon skirts, bodycon gowns, and also pencil skirts. When you are sewing a pencil skirt, this will be very good for you, so that your shape can go right from the hip down to your knee or your floor length or your ankle. Now, from here, the actual measurement you have here, I will minus, you know, this is our pattern. So the actual measurement here, I will minus 2 from the measurement of the hip. I will minus 2 from the measurement of the hip. Some people can go as 2.5, but I would like it as 2. So now, from here now, I will measure 2. Can you see? I will measure 2 here. Then when you get to the hem, if you are working with this pattern to the for a long skirt, when you get to the hem, you can also minus 1, so that it will give you that shape. You know, it's coming from the top like this. It should go down, go down, go down till you have a pencil shape. Like, I know, as I'm saying it now, you should be envisaging how that will look on your body when you are sewing a pencil skirt. But now, I'm not going to pencil skirt, so I'll be leaving my measurement exactly at 2. So that measurement 2, these 2 now, I'll also be leaving it here, because this skirt is stopping on the knee. Connect the dots and join them together using your ruler. Moving to the back pattern. Don't forget the measurement we took here. That's 9.5. I also measure my 9.5 here. Now, before I mark my 9.5, don't forget, we normally have this bulge at the back of the zip. We normally use 0.5 to 1 inches to remove the bulge of the zip. Now, I'm doing this because if you have a gown to use with this skirt, so the bulge allowance that you remove is what you use to continue this. If it is one you use, it is one you are going to use to remove the bulge of the skirt, because it's supposed to continue from here up to like a little, like 1 or 2 inches after the waist. Now, the bulge, I'll be removing just 0.5 inch for the bulge, 0.5 inch, and afterwards I'll measure my 9.5 for the waist measurement. Now, from the 9.5 waist measurement, the hip, don't forget, this is the center back, and this is the the side. So from this side, now I have my hip. You can see I've already exhausted these measurements here. Just exhaust the measurement. Likewise, this measurement that I remove here, which is 2 inches, I am going to remove it here too. You know what you do to the front, you also do to the back. I also remove the 2 inches here, but before I remove it, I will not just remove the measurement. I'm going to share this one into 2 places. For the 2 inches now, I'll be imputing 1 here, and I also come to the center front to impute my 1. So I will connect from that to the head. I also so from here, this is my center back and this is the side. So now look at the curve here. So this curve is the curve of the side. This side are together. Why this is the back, the center back, where you have your zip. This place is where we normally put our zip. So you can see the curve for the bum, and this is very good for those people that normally have flat bum, so that when you do this, it will lift up your bum. And there is another thing I'm going to explain here. Now before they let me also put this one down. So now I'm going to impute that one here. Also going to put it down. I have my 1 here, and also the 1 that I put. I'm going to drag it down. So now from there, so now from here, if you see that this is too curvy, you can, is a thing you can use your hip curve to adjust, but I like the curve as it is. So now I said I'll be chipping in something. Now if you want your bum to come out the more, 2 ways of imputing bum lift. We can lift up our bum from here, and with what we have done here, and also enhance another bum lift from the hip measurement, and I will do that later. But before then, let's go to our center from the front here. Now our skirt is done, but I am going to remove 1 inch allowance from the skirt pattern in the front, because of when you wear skirt, there are some skirt that when this allowance is not removed, you see a smile line on that skirt pattern. It will be squeezed. So in order to avoid that squeeze line, we are going to do 1 inch here, and also I move it up. But before then, our dart allowance is our nipple measurement to create her dart. My little nipple to nipple measurement is 4. That I'll be using for this measurement is 4. So I have it here, 4 here, and likewise for the back measurement. For the back measurement, sometimes if you cut because your zip is still coming and you want to cut your back, that sometimes normally look as if it is very close to the hand here or to the hand here. So what I normally do in such cases is to divide my after the allowance I have is to just divide the pattern into 2, and the hinge allowances I will normally put is 4 to 5. 5 here, I put 5. Then you draw your dart leg up here to your dart leg up. Then inches that I'll be removing from there is, this measurement I am removing, the dart allowance, will not in a way affect your skirt, because you are still going to return this measurement back to your fabric allowance when you because you are still going to measure it from here. Now this is my my skirt waist length, waist breadth. That means I have from here to here and here. So this dart I'm imputing, I'm going to impute a dart of half, depending on how tight you want your dart to be, because the more tighter you take your dart in, the more firm your skirt will look on your body. So I normally like to put my dart for 1.5. I'm holding in for 1.5, and I also be holding the back for 1.5. So that means when you want to cut this out on your fabric, you have to return that your measurement back on your fabric. Please don't forget that. Now from here, 1.5. Draw your dart leg to your dart measurement. Now from here, I'm going to remove gaping allowance. That gaping allowance where you have your smile line. So removing it, I'll draw a line. And before that, it is good so that your pattern will not be funny. So I will normally like to fold this pattern. I have folded this now. Then I'll come with my ruler. So you draw it to this, to the edge of the skirt. Can you see? A straight line, so that when you are holding your dart, you not have a funny shape at that is. The next thing is to cut out our pattern. Next thing is to cut out our pattern. Now our front pattern is ready. Now to the back pattern. To the back pattern, I'll cut out this. Sorry, the front pattern, I have to cut out this so I do not confuse us. And for the back, now I said I'm going to chip in bum pleat for the back pattern. Now I said there are 2 ways. Now some will add 1.5 or 2 to the hip measurement at the back, like this, but I'm not doing that way. Anyhow you like it, you can do. It's almost the same thing. For the bum pleat, you know this our bum. When you sew your skirt is too tight, you find it difficult to sit down, you find it difficult to bend down. So because you have not created a room for your hip, but for your hip or your bum to sit, so instead of you to have that disturbance, what we do to the hip is to create a room for our bum on this hip measurement. And I said it is done in 2 ways. First way, you can add 1.5. I'll be drafting the 2 ways here. So 1.5 here on your bum, and don't forget you have your zip allowance to be 1 here, and coming down to your hip line for that cuff to come out. So don't forget, this is our new, this one is out. So this is our new length for the skirt. So from here you add, and this is where your above knee ends. So from this place now, you just add 1/2 inch of the zip allowance. You know your zip allowance is supposed to run from up down to the end. So from here you add your 1/2 inch allowance. Then you go by this. Don't forget, it is good to use a straight ruler. Then you can bring in your cuff after the line. So from here, look at what I'm doing. Can you see it? Now look at this. Look at this hip measurement. So you can You can remove sharp edge by doing that using your cuff. Now from here now, I will now use my ruler to draw a visible line to that place. So from here now you can see. So the remaining one now serves as your zip allowance where you will be stitching down. So this is your zip allowance. So this is our zip allowance, and to the hem. And don't forget, this your half inch. You know, when you are taking in this your half inch, your zip automatically shifts in for that 1 inch. From here, I have it 1. So if I am starting from here, this is my bulge. This is the bulge I have removed, and you know that I measure my waist up to this place. So the bulge I have removed. So automatically, when you're measuring your zip, your 1 inch start from here to this place. So that means so can you see the bump? Can you see that shape coming out? That's where your bump sits. This place is where your bump sits. That's the first method. To the second method. The second method, I will do that after cutting out this back fabric. I told you I don't want to use this. I want to use the other pattern. I want to use the other way, so that if I slash it, there will not be SL need for me to use this. So I'm going to cut off this and use my normal the other style for the hip. Now for us to cut that bum leaf, what we are going to do here is to slash. Can you see? This is my center front. Don't let us mix the pattern together. Always try to label your pattern. This is our center back. Now for us to do that bum lift, we slash open this our hip. Slash it open. You can see I didn't finish it. Then you open this by that measurement I told you. No, I added 1.5 to 2 here. So, but I'll be adding 1.5 measurements there. So 1.5 measurements goes like this. Can you see 1.5? Then I will now leave it this way, and I will place a paper underneath. I'll place the paper underneath. One and a half. You can see me opening it. I open by 1.5. One and a half. Now let me do that again. So this is what I have here. Normal measurement after slashing. There's it. Then I open this for 1.5. Can you see? This is my exact 1.5. Then if you have a staple, a sellotape, you can use. But for me, I don't have a sellotape around, so I have to use my gum to hold it down. Please always confirm measurement. 1.5. So that's my measurement. So what I will do now is to use my cuff to straighten this part. Our skirt is ready. So you can now use this your skirt to cut out. Don't forget, this does not in any way affect your measurement. This is your center back and this is your center front. Look at the measurement. You can see I still have the skirt at the hem. This does not affect my measurement because I have only done this to the back. Why these are the sides of the measurement I have done. You know, there are some skirts that you see slits. They used to put slits in skirts. But because I don't want, I told you I don't put allowances here. I am going to explain how you add your slits to this when it comes to using this to draft a skirt. That means when you are transferring this pattern to our fabric, we'll teach you how you are going to impute this on your skirt. That's slits. You are going to put slits in this skirt. Thank you. Please like my channel, subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below, and click the notification bell so that anytime I upload new videos, you shall be notified. Thank you very much. I love you. Bye bye.